The Squad. Lawmakers explain creative ways to pay $14 trillion in slavery reparations. That's what I've got for you today, so on with the show. You heard me right. The idiot squad members of the U.S. government want to pay $14 trillion in slavery reparations to people that have never been affected by slavery. Now, for you people that don't know who the squad are, now I'm going to tell you. Alexandria Cortez of New York, Ilham Omar of Minnesota, Ian Presley, Massachusetts, Rashid Tlaib of Michigan. Now, they've been joined by Jamal Bowman, the idiot of New York, Corey Bush of Missouri, and then Greg Kazar of Texas and Summer Lee of Pennsylvania. These are the idiot squad members that think people deserve reparations for something that happened over 158 years ago. Nobody's life's been affected by what happened back then. Nobody now is responsible for what had happened back then. But this is what these idiots want to do. A New York lawmaker wants federal government to push a $14 trillion reparations measure. The measure is touted by the squad members that I just pointed out to you, and want the federal government to be held accountable for slavery and the aftermath of it. Dude, that just blows my mind. Bowman cited that the federal government's response to the COVID pandemic and the space race endeavor as an example that would make the measure feasible. The money alone is not feasible, let alone something that nobody is responsible for. Bowman is among 9 sponsors of House Resolution 414, which seeks to establish that the U.S. has a moral and legal obligation to provide reparations for enslavement of Africans and its lasting harm on the lives of millions of black people in the United States. Blacks were not the only one that were slaves back then. Everyone was. So give me a break. The measure introduced in 2023 would prompt the federal government to spend $14 trillion on reparation programs that would support the descendants of enslaved black people and people of African descent. Reportedly, the bill comes 3 decades after another bill was sought to assemble a federal commission to study reparations. Well, California's tried that, and they went broke. You're idiots. This is another part of the corruption of the Democrat Party. And how of a party of the KKK and of racism are fighting for blacks now. They had no problem putting the KKK together back in the days and was against blacks, but now they want to give people money. Okay. This measure could address concerns over perceived racial disparities in housing, mass incarceration, and education outcomes, and as the bill states, eliminate the racial wealth gap that currently exists between black and white Americans. Well, I'm poor as shit. Are you going to give me money to make up for what the white Americans have? No. So what the hell makes you think that you're going to make up to the blacks can catch up to people? But then you're also calling them stupid by saying their education outcome. Well, they go to school like everyone else. You choose to quit school, that's on you. But there's no difference between a white person's education and a black person's education. You both get educated, you're both there to learn. If you choose not to learn, that's on you. And a mass incarceration. You choose to commit a crime, you're a criminal. Nobody makes you a criminal. Slavery 158 years ago did not make you a criminal. Give me a break. To put the price tag in perspective, the federal government spent about $7 trillion in 2020, about 28% of the nation's $25 trillion economy, which is up to $35 trillion because of the Biden administration. Bowman believes that the $14 trillion could be distributed over decades. Shut the hell up, Bowman. It might be possible for it to be paid out over 5 or 10 or 20 years. You could take $330,000 and break it up into monthly checks over X amount of time. There are creative ways to do things and do what needs to be done. Well, this is not what needs to be done. This just goes to show you what kind of idiots are running Washington, D.C. This is just a joke. Nobody's lives were affected by this, but these idiots want to sit out there and make it like it was. Most of these people are black, so how were their lives affected? They are in the top echelons of millionaires, so how were their lives affected by this? They're making millions of dollars in briberies and stuff being in the government, so their lives were not affected by this. There are some smart individuals here that went to college and got a degree. So how was their education a problem from slavery? Let me know what you guys think. You know I'm going to keep watching this story because these idiot squad members try to come up with the greatest idiotic things I've ever heard. They are corrupt, It needs to stop. That's why this election is so important. Get out and vote, everyone. This year is so important. We've got to get these Democrats out of power. Stop this idiotic stuff that these people put out. So please, leave comments and questions below. Share my videos with your friends and family. Again, don't forget to get out and vote this year. We've got to get the Democrats out of power. Follow me on Rumble at Chasu, CHASU. As soon as I get some more information on this or any other things, you know I'll get them out to you. So in the meantime, this has been The Talking Point. With the Country Conservative, I'm Charlie, and I'll see you next time.